ما عاد مو لعتات وجود عوائد والله.
Islam Makhachev has just shocked the MMA community by his new training footage where he puts his sparring partner to sleep. On the other hand, Della Maddalena expects Islam Makhachev to rely heavily on his wrestling at the start of UFC 322, predicting that the first round will feature intense grappling exchanges. He noted that Belal Muhammad's early failure to implement his wrestling strategy in a previous fight demonstrates how crucial that approach can be.
Do you expect Islam to try and strike with you, or do you think that his game plan might try and take you down?
It's hard to expect anything, I definitely feel like he will test the feet, I think it's going to start on the feet, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Belal fight, he probably sees that Belal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll get into some at least some grappling exchanges,
He's got to come up in weight. It's your weight class. Do you feel like that's going to slow him down a little bit?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes the weight cut will slow you down. So I expect the best Islam. I expect more filled out, stronger. I feel like it's going to be the best Islam Makhachev has been. So yeah, I think the weight will probably be better for him,
Another pay-per-view here next year. You win this, good chance you headline that. Does that help as well with the motivation stakes?
Honestly, not really. I'm motivated, It's a big fight, it's a big challenge.
Daniel Cormier also advised Islam to focus on sharpening his wrestling for the matchup. He highlighted that Jack's recent improvements in takedown defense, combined with Islam's less dominant grappling against Dustin Poirier, makes this aspect of preparation crucial.
Islam Jack is going to be a great fight, especially seeing Jack defend takedowns in the way that he did. And Islam, he struggled a little to take down Dustin Poirier. He didn't take him down as easily as he had taken down other guys. So I think that for Makhachev, he needs to really lock in on getting that wrestling ready to fight a guy in Della Maddalena, who showed great takedown defense. And man, this dude's got some good boxing, especially when you're in tight with him. His hands are good in close.
At the same time, Della Maddalena stated he intends to give everything in the fight, aiming for a finish at Madison Square Garden. His goal is to defeat the pound-for-pound top fighter and make a major statement in the lightweight division with a standout performance.
You like finishing this one?
I'm going to go for it, I would love, obviously, that'd be the best case scenario, get the finish. I can see it happening, I can see it blowing the roof off MSG, taking out pound for pound number one with no doubts, finish would be the dream.
Moreover, Islam Makhachev has been focusing heavily on wrestling in his training camp, working closely with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Their sessions emphasize control, takedown setups, and chain wrestling, sharpening Makhachev's grappling skills while reinforcing the pressure and discipline that make Khabib so dominant in the octagon. Israel Adesanya expressed confidence in Della Maddalena, citing his size, strength, and constant scrambles as factors that could disrupt Islam Makhachev's game. He noted that if Islam fails to establish early control on the ground, Jack's relentless striking pressure could quickly shift momentum in his favor.
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's
even
got good
watching
scrambles.
him with Belal as well, and Gilbert Burns. His scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, I'm standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
Dense,
think,
man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, we're sparring, and then it's just a weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body banging, man. good.
Carlos Prates admitted he initially expected Jack Della Maddalena to struggle after nearly 2 years out with injury, anticipating a slow, points-based performance. However, he was impressed by Jack's growth and higher-level execution. Prates also emphasized that Islam Makhachev is on another level, noting that his top control is exceptionally dominant, far surpassing what fighters like Belal Muhammad can offer.
I was thinking Jack Della Maddalena would lose. He got injury, and I was like almost 2 years without fight.
Yeah.
And then he come to different level, bro. He was like gonna be a board fight by points and things like that. But bro, what he did was really good work. He grew up a lot.
Yeah, but
he come a different level.
Yeah, but Islam is a different animal. And if there's one thing that I could say in that fight, Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you.
Yeah.
He's a blanket, bro. The top control that Islam has in comparison to Belal is completely different.
Charles Oliveira praised Jack as a calculated striker who breaks opponents down rather than chasing quick finishes, as seen in his fight with Belal Muhammad. Still, Oliveira emphasized that Islam's grappling strength will be crucial, making the fight heavily dependent on Jack's ability to stay mobile and avoid being taken down.
Quem que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Merab Dvalishvili said the fight will be challenging, but believes Islam Makhachev has the potential to claim a second title. He acknowledged Jack Della Maddalena is a dangerous striker, but emphasized that Islam's wrestling, control, and adaptability are the decisive factors that could secure him the victory. Alexander Volkanovski highlighted Jack's composure under wrestling pressure and the confidence gained from previous bouts against strong grapplers, calling him a serious threat to slow Islam's momentum at welterweight.
What I love about Jack Della and what he did with Belal is he will, you get people that are worried about the takedown, so and then they don't fight their fight on the feet. I'm gonna fight my fight and worry about the takedown when it's there.
Exactly.
And that's perfect. You need to be like that. For me, like with Islam, was like, I'm gonna do my thing. Yeah, I'll be worried about it, but at the same time, find the shots to go in, boom, boom, boom. But I'll worry about the takedown when they're there. But I'll still commit to things. Later on, once you realize you
can handle it, then you were just like, this I can handle it.
And the confidence Jack Della is going to have now from getting through that, even though he's going to be confident. And then there's another one when you're successful with guys that are very dominant there. When you have the success there, then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now you end up even that much better at the takedown. And then he's going to do a lot. We're actually going to get a bit of training in and that as well. Like obviously he's going to do.
Over there.
Hey?
You going over there?
He'll probably come over here, or maybe we'll get we'll see. I might even go over there, whatever they want. I'm happy to do whatever.
Leon Edwards admitted the fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is difficult to predict. He highlighted Jack's size and scrambling ability while questioning whether Makhachev's strength will carry over at welterweight, leaving the outcome uncertain.
What's your prediction for JDM and
Islam
Makhachev?
I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know. I think JDM is good scrambling. He's a bigger guy. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Is Islam big enough? Is he going to be able to?
Let's see.
Khabib Nurmagomedov described Jack Della Maddalena as possibly Islam's toughest challenge yet, pointing to Jack's size advantage and well-rounded striking and grappling. Khabib said that if preparing Islam for Topuria or Jack, the latter would be more worrying matchup due to his physical strength and skills.
Считаю, что Maddalena самый сложный соперник в ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Maddalena 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Maddalena, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Maddalena.
Curtis Blade said he hasn't studied Jack extensively, only watching his last 2 fights, but still favors Islam Makhachev due to his adaptability and proven success against elite competition.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of JDM. I haven't seen enough of his fights. I've seen his last 2, but I haven't seen enough. I'm still going to lean towards Islam just because I've seen him handle all issues, and he's had high levels of success in the past.
Aljamain Sterling boldly predicted that Jack would defeat Islam in his first welterweight defense, arguing that Jack's power and frame could neutralize Islam's wrestling and prevent talks of a future Islam versus Topuria fight.
You picked JDM to win. Now he's got a big challenge in his first title defense against Islam. Do you think he's got what it takes to beat an Islam Makhachev in his first defense?
People are going to say it's a wild take, but I reckon JDM smokes Islam, shins him so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Topuria Islam thing will just be gone.
Do you think Islam's wrestling won't be a threat to JDM just because he's a lot bigger?
He's a lot bigger, and like when you watch JDM, like you put him on the end of mid-range, he's just going to throw. It's hard to like shoot in on. He's not going to be able to just abuse his size against him either. I think Islam's in for a rude awakening.
Geoff Neal backed Jack Della Maddalena to win at 170 pounds, and he noted that while Islam dominates lightweight, it's unclear if that will continue at welterweight, highlighting Jack's strong takedown defense and added size as key factors.
I don't know. We will see, because I've heard Islam's strong as shit. Like, especially like when he's fighting 155, people like always talk about how strong he is for the weight class. So we'll see how that translates to 170.
Yeah.
You know, I hope Jack's been working his takedown defense and in the weight room. You know what I mean? Don't embarrass us, dog. Don't let this 155er come up and take the belt, bro.
Who do you give the edge to in that fight?
Man, that's so hard. But I'm gonna give the edge to Jack, man. He needs to keep the belt at 170.
Max Holloway strongly backed Jack, noting that many continue to underestimate him despite his elite level and pound-for-pound ranking. He highlighted Jack's skills, experience, and calmness, making him a serious challenge even against a dominant fighter like Islam.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is, you know, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you gotta respect that, but. You know, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Dan Hooker suggested that the UFC arrange this matchup for a reason, noting that Islam's team may have identified something, but he feels the fight slightly favors Jack Della Maddalena due to his size and power.
Pretty confident stylistically with that Jack Della fight to they've kind of gone out of their way to chase that fight down. So they obviously see something. I feel like it'll be close, but yeah, that's a big step up. Jack Della's a pretty big boy.
Yeah. Do you think Islam can get past him?
He's obviously got like I feel like he's got a chance, but I feel like that fight leans towards Jack Della.
Chael Sonnen criticized Islam for vacating the lightweight title and moving up in weight, suggesting it was more than avoiding a fight with Ilia Topuria than legacy. Daniel Cormier countered, defending Islam's decision as a rare moment of self-determination, pointing out his history of taking difficult matchups, often without full camps.
Islam went up not out of courage. Islam did not go up out of adding hardware to put on his mantle. He went up with one condition, which is I don't have to fight Belal Muhammad. Now, he can sit around and say, I could beat Belal, and I wouldn't go up and beat Belal because I can beat Belal. The bottom line is you entered a division openly that you said you wouldn't face one of the top guys. That's not a sign of courage. That's a sign of cowardice. I don't love the idea. You have an undefeated. Make sure you understand what happened. I know this is your friend, DC. I think of Islam as my friend, too. But let's think of what happened. You have an undefeated, #1 ranked world champion who's chasing you down. He is willing to leave his division behind. He's willing to walk away from his belt to chase you down. You are so interested in getting away from this guy that you not only leave your belt, you leave your division, and the whole thing is only contingent that you don't have to fight Islam. Not for nothing. This is not the way champions conduct themselves.
Johnny Walker remarked that Islam Makhachev has always been a tough, technically skilled opponent. He acknowledged that moving to welterweight introduces bigger, stronger fighters and new challenges, but believes Islam can still succeed at 170 pounds.
I think Islam, he's been a really tough fight and incredible technique for the last all his career, no? And I believe he still can get it, but as I said, it's a new division, new body type, new power, everything. He's moving up. It's a big testing for him, but I believe he can he can do good too.
Sean O'Malley described the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena as a high-level contest. He suggested that a fight between Islam and Ilia Topuria might generate even more attention. O'Malley credited Islam's performance against Belal Muhammad for building hype for the Jack fight, and noted that if Jack can defend takedowns and land clean strikes, the momentum could shift in his favor.
At Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev. I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Belal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt. Who give him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Khamzat Chimaev described the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena as extremely tough, highlighting Islam's dominant grappling and control alongside Jack's heavy hands and precise boxing. He leaned toward Islam because of his proven track record, but acknowledged that Jack remains dangerous at welterweight, particularly if the fight stays on the feet, thanks to his size and power.
And who do you think's going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
Welterweight contender Ian Gary called the fight difficult to predict. He praised Islam as one of the most complete fighters in MMA, but cautioned that moving up a weight class could present challenges, particularly against a boxer like Jack with strong takedown defense.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part, even on the ground. I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Gilbert Burns said welterweight suits Islam Makhachev better, as cutting to lightweight has become increasingly challenging. He praised Islam's abilities, but cautioned that Jack Della Maddalena's training with fighters like Alexander Volkanovski and Craig Jones could make the fight competitive and risky.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proven himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot.
Dan Hardy labeled the fight as one of the most exciting super fights in the sport, second only to John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. He expressed interest in Islam's attempt to win welterweight gold and questioned whether the UFC would allow him to retain his lightweight belt.
I thought he was very, very impressive. You know, it would be awesome to see Makhachev move up and fight him. You know, I did see that Makhachev said he's not gonna relinquish his lightweight belt. So I don't know how that's gonna fly with the UFC, because I think they're putting a stop on double champs now, aren't they? But it would be a fight I would love to see. You know, that's probably one of the best super fights you could make right now, aside from, you know, obviously John Jones against Tom Aspinall, which is the blockbuster. Dan
Hardy also voiced doubts about Islam's chances at 170 pounds and questioned how long Jack could maintain the title in such a competitive division. He acknowledged Islam's dominance at lightweight, but was not convinced it would carry over to welterweight.
I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or, you know, he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev, though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, you know, on any day, you know, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev.
Dan Hardy added that if Islam manages to win the welterweight belt, it would elevate his legacy to legendary status. He already considers Islam the top pound-for-pound fighter and believes the timing is ideal, with the division more open than ever, giving Makhachev a chance to secure his place in history.
If Islam goes up to welterweight and wins that second belt, what do you think that does for him in terms of his legacy? Surely that just puts him on the Mount Rushmore, right, of MMA?
I mean, it does for me. He's pound for pound best right now anyway, in my mind. It would be very, very impressive. You know, he is the kind of fighter that can definitely make that transition. And honestly, I do feel like the welterweight division is open right now for someone to come in and you know, cause an upset. There's been times in the past where it would have been harder for someone to come up from another weight class and do that, but now seems like it's primed. It's a little bit unsettled. The belt's kind of moving around a bit.
Yoel Romero said the fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is tough to call. He highlighted Jack's knockout power and solid wrestling, making it almost a 50-50 matchup. Romero noted that while Jack's takedown defense isn't perfect, which could benefit Islam, his punching power and natural size at welterweight might give him an advantage. He also added that despite perceptions, Jack is actually quite big for the division.
What about Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, who is a new champion in welterweight division?
It's hard because Maddalena have a very good cardio, very good puncher. Yeah. It's not bad wrestling too. It's not bad wrestling. It's a 50-50.
50-50, but Jack has not that high takedown defense. You know,
but punches. They have very hard punches.
And he will be more powerful than Islam, right? Or
that's exactly
because of the weight difference, right?
Yes.
Or Islam is too big for.
No. That guy Maddalena is big. For 170, he's big.
Navajo Sterling confidently sided with Jack Della Maddalena, highlighting his long reach, strong build, and precise mid-range striking as major weapons against Islam Makhachev. He explained that those attributes could limit Islam's ability to close the gap or establish grappling control, and Sterling also cautioned that if Islam were to lose clearly, it could derail future talks of a matchup with Ilia Topuria.
You picked JDM to win. Now he's got a big challenge in his first title defense against Islam. Do you think he's got what it takes to beat an Islam Makhachev in his first defense?
People are going to say it's a wild take, but I reckon JDM smokes Islam. Shins him so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Topuria Islam thing will just be gone.
So you think Islam's wrestling won't be a threat to JDM just because he's a lot bigger?
He's a lot bigger, and like when you watch JDM, like you put him on the end of mid-range, he's just going to throw. It's hard to like shoot in on. He's not going to be able to just abuse his size against him either. I think Islam's in for a rude awakening.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about the matchup? Would love to hear your thoughts on this, so share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also, check out our other videos on the screen right now.